Every week we talk to folks who are considering buying a second home in Florida, and they want to know what are the top things that they need to consider. So let's dive right into it. All right, the first thing that you need to consider is picking the right location for the lifestyle you're looking to lead. You want to make sure that you choose an area that matches how you plan on using this home. Are you somebody who goes to the beach with frequency? Do you want to be close to shopping? Are you a boater? Do you need a dock in your backyard? Are you going to play golf all the time? All of these things need to go into considering the right location for your lifestyle. And in fact, I just recently did a video on it. You can find the link here that talks about what is the best way to figure out where you should live when you move to Southwest Florida. All right, the next thing that you need to consider is the area you're looking at, is it in a flood zone? And what are the insurance costs? When we start working with buyers, these are things that we actually consider right up front. So as soon as you've honed in and narrowed in on a home or an area, we are gonna right away get to working. We're gonna hook you up with one of our insurance contacts so that you can get estimates and quotes on how much this is gonna be for you, and can the property even be insured? So I do get asked a lot about insurance, that they keep hearing that people can't get insurance in Florida. That's not the case most of the time, but there are cases where that is true. Specifically, if it's an old home, if it's not built up to current code, if it's right on the water, those are homes that are very hard to insure right now. It doesn't mean 100% they can't be insured, but it is gonna be more of a challenge, and those will need a little more legwork up front to determine, is that something that you still wanna move forward with? Is self-insuring the only option there? So again, the flood zones, those are changing. They've recently gone through some changes on the flood map. We just want to flush all of that out up in the front so that you have a good idea of how these will impact the carrying costs you're going to have if you purchase a second home here in Florida. All right, having a budget for the fees, hidden fees. So nobody is purposely hiding fees from you. However, when you're looking on Zillow or homes.com, realtor.com, all of the fees that are associated with the home don't always come across, because sometimes we have multiple associations. They might not feed correctly with all the tech that's happening in the background. So they might not always come across and be apparent to you. Some of our neighborhoods have CDDs. Sometimes there's assessments. So again, no worries about this, but this is why you want to partner with a team like the Gillette Group. We do a lot of business. We have a lot of experience in working in gated communities, condo associations, and we are able to narrow down for you, pull out, and give you all of the costs and all of the things that you can expect if you choose to purchase a home. So no worries about that. You also want to be aware of pet and rental restrictions. I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole with that, but those are also things that are very important to consider if you're looking to buy a home or purchase a second home here in Southwest Florida. All right, are you considering building new or looking at building a spec? No problem. We have a tremendous amount of experience with helping people with new construction. We have quite a few people who are pending on new construction homes right now, many of them for their second home. So they are in the same boat. So if this is something you're considering, we just want to have a conversation so that you are aware of what type of delays there might be. Are there permitting delays? What is the build time? What is the quality of the builder? There are a lot of factors that go into that. Are there supply chain issues happening right now? Are there labor issues happening right now? So all of those are factors that can impact your timeline and or the overall costs of purchasing a new construction home. But we are here for you, so don't worry about that. All right, next, I'm just checking my notes here to make sure I don't forget anything. Your realtor in those cases are going to be your boots on the ground to keep you informed throughout the entire process so you know exactly what's happening and where you stand. All right, next. You want to make sure when you're looking at properties that you're checking not just the distance, but the travel times. So if it's important to you to be close to the airport, if it's important to you to be close to the beach, close to shopping. You know, I used to say when we lived in Chicago, I lived 17 miles door to door from our townhome to my office. But I never said to anybody that I'm 17 miles from work. I would say, depending on what time I leave, I'm anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes, depending on traffic conditions, depending on weather conditions and what time of day it is. Well, it's no different here. Pretty much out of season, it's pretty standard. If you live 7 miles, it's probably 7 to 10 minutes to get to where you're going. But in season, when our population increases by about 30% due to all the people visiting our fantastic weather in wintertime, which let's face it, is pretty much perfect, you're gonna wanna double that time, sometimes even more. So if you're 10 miles from the beach in season, that's not taking you 10 minutes, it's probably taking you 25 to 30 minutes, depending on what time you go, the weather conditions, and the parking situation when you get there. So again, not a big deal, it's just something that you need to factor in. If you tell me I wanna live close to the beach, I'm gonna ask you, well, what does that mean to you? And if you say 10 minutes or less, then we're gonna make sure that we surround that search to within a couple miles to make sure that we keep you 10 minutes or less. All right, you gotta know the climate that we've got here. We are a subtropical climate down here in Southwest Florida. We move subtropical as soon as we get south of Venice. So what does that mean? That means in the wintertime, we have lovely warm temperatures. We're actually about 7 to 10 degrees warmer than what you're gonna find in Venice, Sarasota, and Tampa. What that also means, and this has no bearing, they also have hurricanes, but in the summertime, it is hurricane season, so you need to have an awareness of that. And you need to know, especially like right now, it is hot, hot, hot. It is hot in the summer. So yes, when you come from the Midwest, there are hot temperatures there. Take your hottest, most humid days that you experience in Illinois in a July or in an August. That's what we've got here pretty much from May through Halloween. In fact, in Halloween here, oftentimes your chocolate melts because it's still so nice and warm as we're moving out of our hurricane season into our perfection season in the winter. But you just need to have an awareness of that. And maybe you're never planning on being here in the summer if it is a second home for you, and that's great too. So at that point, you just want to make sure you've got a plan in place to handle hurricane preparedness. And what does that mean? If you don't have impact glass, maybe you've got automatic hurricane shutters, or you've got somebody set up to put shutters on your home in case you need it. You don't have to put shutters on for every storm, in my opinion. However, it is a very personal choice. Some people choose to do so. In the 13 years we've been here, there's only been 2 times that we have personally chosen to shutter up our house. Now, I put an asterisk on that because we live east of 75, so we are further away from the coast. Obviously, the closer you get into the coastline, the more important it would be that you have all the appropriate hurricane preparedness. But again, you just need to have an awareness that that might be an extra maintenance item that needs to be handled when you are enjoying yourself up north in the summertime. All right, next. You're going to want to really review the different counties and the different property taxes. Our property taxes do vary here based on county. Collier County is a little less expensive tax rate than Lee County. Now, median home prices in Collier County are higher than median home prices in Lee County. So they do end up, only you can decide where you want to be, and you have to look at your overall costs. But when you're considering carrying costs, just know that that is the case. And obviously it is going to depend on how much your assessed value is of your home. Now, when you're looking at listings, you want to make sure that you do not use the tax numbers that are on Zillow or on the MLS listing for the taxes, because those are going to be based on when did that person purchase that home. And it also will take into account if they've got a homestead or any other exemptions. So it is not going to be the accurate number for you. As a second home, you will not qualify for the homestead exemption that we've got here in Florida, but it's just more, I just want to make sure if you're doing some research on the side that you just realize that that number is not going to be your number. But don't worry, just let us know. We can help get you an estimate and let you know what exact costs are going to be. Is there a CDD? What else do you have to consider when you're putting together your numbers to see financially whether or not you want to purchase a second home here in Florida. All right, you're going to want to consider all the different available housing types. I say it all the time, you probably get tired of it, but we have something for everyone here. So if you want a large single family home, we've got that. If you want a low maintenance condo, we've got that. If you want something in between, we've got villas and townhomes. So literally something for everyone. So depending on how much money you want to spend, how much time you're going to spend, how much maintenance you're interested in doing, there are all kinds of factors that go in. This is why at the beginning of the process, we use a wish list with you so that we can talk through all of this. And I always kind of tell people, don't worry, you can change your mind as the process goes on. But the wish list gives us a place to start so that we can just get the ball rolling, start narrowing things in and out. Again, it might change and that's okay, but we got to start somewhere. All right, next. Last thing that we're going to talk about, and something that is really important for you to consider, is what are your medical needs and things such as that. So if you're not moving here full time, you're probably not interested or care about having your primary care doctor or things like that. But if you have any kind of specialist that you need, if you have any kind of medical concerns, you're going to want to make sure that you do a little research to see how does our area stack up for what it is that you need. If you have a certain specialty that's required, like, do we have doctors like that? How many are there? And are they going to be available in the case that you need someone? Now, Lee Health and NCH are both doing a lot of expansion. We're starting to see new freestanding EDs. We've got 2 new facilities at Coconut Point and Estero, so there is growth happening, and most people find it to be satisfactory. But again, medical is very personal and each situation is different. So if you need help with that, let us know. We're happy to try to give you resources, but that's definitely something you'll want to take a look into before you make any final decisions. Whew. All right, what other questions do you have? What did I forget? What is something that you really need to know before you can make a determination on whether or not you want to buy a second home here in Paradise? You can always contact me directly at 239-776-6872. You can find the Gillette Group online, on social media. We've got a website. You can schedule time using the Calendly link below, because we want to know what can we do to help you live joy too.